There's the moon. It's a nice quiet street I live on. You know, I've lived in this house for 16 months. I've lived in Sunnyside for 5 years, but I also didn't realize how gentrified it was. But first I was at Stasson and Scott, and well, about half a mile away from Stasson and Scott, I would ride my bike and go get provisions for the crew, for the girls and the boys at my house at the convenience store. And but in the neighborhood, it's quiet. It's nice, and it's very gentrified. So on this block by itself, like I think Mike Matthew says, my old friend who left here in December for El Paso, said that there were like 2 Lamborghinis. I did see 1 Lamborghini here. This is like rich black people, but it reminds me of a funny story. Like I was walking at Cullen and Belford about a year ago, and this couple, power couple, I put them in my old phone or whatever, but like Porsche Kathy, and they came up in a Corvette and they asked me if I was homeless, and I said no. They asked me if I could read some copy on the phone, and I read it. You know, I can read good or whatever. I can read good. Grigsby, whatever. So they wanted me to open up 3 fake bank accounts at the bank, and so, but they would pay me like, you know, $20 here, $20 there, give me a 6-pack of beer, cigarettes, whatever. And eventually I gave up on it because I didn't want to go to jail again. You know, I have 2 felonies. One's evading arrest and one's attempted check fraud. But that was crazy. But they're insane. Like, you know, people just want more and more money. But they had a Corvette, a Porsche, and an Alfa Romeo SUV as well. Just between the couple, they're probably like 22 and 24 years old, something like that. But my dad was telling me, like, you know, just leave it alone. And my house manager, Michael Borky, was telling me. And that's just funny too. Mike has no teeth. He says because.
We must say where we at.
What now? Hold on.
Some pictures of Ish. 73 cents.
Hold on. I'm just trying to talk to the camera. Oh yeah, I wanted Mike to meet them. So Mike goes out to the Porsche and meets them, and she says, "Do you have any teeth?" You know, he's like, "Fuck you." He's not rude, but he says that it was a car accident. But also he said that he blew up his parents' backyard with the meth operation or whatever. If I worked in a lab at MD Anderson again or anywhere, I could grow mushrooms using the autoclave. I could also steal reagents to make meth. All you need is Sudafed, and I forget right now, but it's real easy. It's a 3-step operation. You go from pseudoephedrine to meth by removing a hydroxyl group from the first carbon off of the benzene ring. My best friend Judd, my bassist, his dad's still around. He worked for the World's at Shell his whole life. He retired about 10 years ago, or 20 years ago, I don't remember. But he's rich, filthy rich. I stopped to see him last time I was in the neighborhood, but he didn't answer the door. I'll talk to you later, bye.